Hey, excuse me, lady. You work here, right?
Yes.
This box doesn't fit. I don't know. It's supposed to be in my size, but I don't know. It doesn't fit.
Maybe if you lose weight, it will fit next time.
Really? Is that the best you could say?
Yes.
So annoying. How do you even work here?
Hello. This is ABC Phones. My name is Lydia, and how may I help you?
Nice to meet you, Lydia. My name is Teddy. I'm trying to ask if you have the Infinix 05 phones in stock.
No, we don't. Can you check the website, please?
Alright, that'll be wonderful. I'll do just that.
Okay, thank you. ABC Phones. What do you need?
I would like to inquire if you have the Infinix 05 smartphones in stock.
I'm sorry, but can't you go to our website to check that?
Wow. I guess I will.
Yeah, bye. This bad customer service scenarios we've played out may seem outrageous at first, but these experiences have actually happened to real-life people and real-life customer service agents. Stay tuned to learn the good, the bad, and the ugly side of customer service experience and how you can recover from a bad customer service experience in your company after the commercial break. Hello and welcome back from that short commercial break. My name is Chimsa and I'm the host for this series, Workplace Mayethics, where we talk about the work ethics of your workplace. We tackle manners, workplace ethics, in general, different industries and how they handle certain behavioral issues of employees. And today the agenda we have to discuss about is customer service experience, and I would start by defining a cliche, right? Defining what the customer service experience is. Customer service experience is the art of managing customers by meeting or exceeding their wants and needs. Every industry has a form of customer service experience and how they relate to their customers. So regardless of whether you work in the restaurant industry or the hospitality industry, the engineering industry, one way or the other, your customers will be exposed to how you handle them, and you more or less have employees you've trained to handle certain issues. So we've all had a bad customer experience. I know that if you've not had this, you've had at least experienced a bad customer service experience that had you thinking, like, what is happening? The few scenarios we acted out are not out, like they are not out of the book. It has actually happened to real life people. And why is customer service bad? One, the customer who experienced that bad experience will tell friends, family, so in other words, word of mouth. And it has been shown that like about 60% of people refuse a service from a particular industry or a particular company based on the feedback of someone closest to them. Secondly, the person might go on a social media rampage. You know, social media is all around. Like, so social media, it's just by a click of a button, and the person can just type something very negative, give you bad reviews, and that is bad for your company. The next point is that you lose their trust, and it will be very difficult for you to gain their trust and for them to come back to use your service. And that leads us to our final point, why bad customer service will cost you, is that they will be forced to switch to their competitor. And I know that is not what you want your customers to do. So since you know the implications of bad customer experience, what would we classify as good customer service experience? Good customer service experience is when a customer gets their problem answered in a timely manner. The second point is the customer shouldn't have to put a lot of effort to get their problem solved. The third point also is that even if the service you're offering, the customer has a problem with it, you should have a backup plan or a compensation plan to let your customer flow into your service. Finally, what will be termed as good customer service experience is when the customer care representative knows, understands, and is able to effectively solve the customer's problem. And since we know what is good customer service now, what will we term as bad customer service? So now we know what is classified as good customer service experience. What will we term as bad customer experience? And I know from the list I'm going to mention, most of us have one way or the other experienced, if not one, but multiple bad customer service experience. Employers, take note of this and try not to let your customers experience the bad customer service experience I'm about to mention. And the first point we have is, if you offer a service where your customer service representative is supposed to grace an in-house call, don't be late, and also avoid letting the customer service representative arrive at the destination late, because you do not know the program or the agenda the customer has for the day. Probably they would have had to cancel some of their programs or their meetings to make time for this in-house call. Or the second point we have is that most customers have to wait for ridiculously long periods of time on a phone call. That is a big no. And the third experience that people have had is when the customer service asks for information the company already has. The next point is having the customer explain their problem over and over again to multiple agents. I personally had a problem with an electricity company, and I had that issue, and it was on a holiday. It was very frustrating having to explain the same problem to different agents. The next point we have is when the company takes too long to fix the problem. So if it takes too long for the problem to be solved, that is also qualified as bad customer service experience. When the customer has to pay unreasonably charged expenses for the problem you have to fix. You know, the customer is seeking a solution to a problem, and they don't want to be charged like extra money for their problem to be solved. The next bad customer service experience is misinformation. The customer service representative has no idea. I don't know whether some companies don't screen their customer service representatives, but some companies have customer service representatives who have no idea about certain problems. If that is the case you have, please provide in-house training or provide some sort of training for your customer service representative. And the final thing is when the agent or the representative use a scripted response. Scripted responses are not bad, but if it feels like the customer is chatting to a robot, it's also classified as bad customer service experience. So that is the bad. Now moving to the worst. The worst is like extreme, and those one, it doesn't take rocket science for you, the customer, or for you, the employer, to know that you have a customer care representative who is worst for the job. So some few examples of worst customer service representative or worst customer service experience is: one, when the customer care representative does not understand the language the customer is speaking. We live in a society where people communicate in different languages, and we are in Africa. So if you find your company at a place people speak multiple languages, it's best to hire a customer service representative who knows how to speak both the local dialect and your official language. The second point that I would like to mention about which is classified as worst customer service experience is when the customer care representative has no idea what they are talking about. I mentioned that is part of the bad, but some of them is too extreme. They have no idea about the services the company even offers, and they have basically no idea. And the final and the last thing that is enough to infuriate the nicest customer is when you use abusive or foul language. If you have a customer care representative whose temper is just here, then it is best to either fire the person or find very effective measures to let the person deal with their anger. So now we know all the forms of customer service experience. How do you fix a bad customer service experience in your company? We are humans, it's inevitable. You would eventually have a sort of bad customer experience. Even the best companies that offer best customer service experiences have had their fair share of bad customer service. So how do you fix an instance of bad customer service? To fix bad customer service experience at your workplace, first of all, you have to set standards. Your company has rules and regulations and how employees are supposed to conduct themselves and how they are supposed to go about their day-to-day activities. The same applies to your customer service representatives. Set standards. So for instance, an example of the standards you can set is, for instance, the phone shouldn't ring for more than 4 times. And an email should be answered within an hour. Sometimes most customers have this problem where they send emails and it takes more than 48 hours to answer the email. It shouldn't be so. Customers want their responses on time. The second point is start using the right language. Using the right language here doesn't mean using abusive or foul language. It means phrasing your language to elicit in the mind of the customer that you have their best interest at heart. For instance, let's say a customer calls and owes you some amount of money. The customer calls or the customer service representative does not have to say you owe. Instead, they can say our balance show a record of. You see the difference? You owe is accusatory. It's like you're telling the customer like you don't have money or you're broke, or you know you have a balance and you don't want to pay. Instead, our records show like your balance of shows that you are actually looking through like a systematic record and you kind of empathize, or you want them, it's like it elicits in their mind that, oh, I have a balance and I have to pay. But then you owe is accusatory. Another statement you can change is instead of saying you need to, this is especially for the tech industries, like you need to reboot the system. It's like you are commanding, the customer doesn't need to do anything. They just want the solution to their problem. Instead, you can say that we find it helpful when you. So you see, there are different languages, and you can find a good trainee who would help your customer service representatives to know the right language to use. Also, expose your customer service representatives to what good, excellent service is all about. So for instance, you have Apple is known to have excellent customer service. So if you have one in your vicinity, you can just take your customer service representatives for a stroll or like a live teaching experience. Some of them are genuinely good customer service representatives, but they don't know how it's done. They seeing how it's done in these good companies will teach them how to use the same in your company to let your customers be happy. The next point is, don't imagine you can do something with nothing. This is in relation to companies who have small or a limited number of call center or call customer service representatives. If you have a small number and you're a small company and they can handle the number of calls or the number of emails coming through, it's fine. But if your company keeps growing and customers have to keep in line to just get a customer service representative on the line, it's very bad. If the customer has to hold for a long period of time, it's also a bad thing. So if you have a limited number of customers and you have customers complaining about the number of times or the number of hours they have to wait on the line, it's an action call for you to hire more customer service representatives to handle your incoming calls. And finally, find a systematic way or a system for answering incoming calls and emails of your company. Also, have the frequently asked questions on your website so that your customers don't have to call to ask for stupid stuff. Common problems that customers call to complain about. So your customer has come to complain about a bad customer service experience in your company. How do you apologize to the person? First of all, you have to understand your customer. The second thing is to apologize. They want to hear an apology. You don't just understand and try to blame. As a leader or as a boss or employer, you have to accept responsibility. That shows that you understand the plight of your customer. After you apologize, you explain what went wrong, and then it leads to our next point, which is fixing the problem. After you explain, they expect you to fix the problem that means you've explained and you know what happened. So yeah, you can fix the problem. The next thing is to offer a reward or compensation. I also personally had an experience where I ordered food from a restaurant. I expected it delivered at a particular time, and it took so long. And when they were coming, they packaged pastries and a drink as an apology for the that long wait I had to endure. And it actually made me a loyal customer of that restaurant. So you can use that way to keep customers when there has been a negative or bad customer service experience. And you have to end on a positive note. Let them know that it won't happen again. And yeah, let them know it won't happen again. And help your customer to feel satisfied after your service. And finally, implement your feedback. Make sure though it has happened to one customer, make sure it doesn't happen to the next customer, and make sure it doesn't happen to that same customer. If not, it causes a lot of frustration, dissatisfaction, and all that. So this is the end of another interesting series of workplace Mayethics. Don't forget to show me some love, share the video to let fellow employers to know how to deal with bad customer service experience, and subscribe to this channel. My name is Chimsa, and I've been your host for Workplace Mayethics. See you in our next episode. Let me know in your comments below if you've had a bad customer service. If you have had bad customer service in a company, please don't, we don't want to shade any company. Just tell us your experiences and we'll highlight them and discuss them in the next video.